Hey, hey, hands up! Late some diet. Feet hit the trail. Heartbeats race. Dust on my jacket. Wind in my face. Not about to finish. It's who you find along the way. Every blister, every sunrise, every hot and beautiful day. Head first into the unknown. Let's go chasing trails, yeah. Chasing trails, yeah. Every mud pit, every stone we're gonna run and leave it all.
All right, welcome in, everyone. It's another episode of the Chasing Trails podcast. You've got Jeff with us tonight. We're also thrilled to have Chester Dana on the show with us. Hey, Chester, how's it going, man?
Not so bad. How are you guys?
It's great to have you as a guest host for this episode. Just want to give a big shout out before we jump into our sponsors, St. John Trail Running, Resilience Through Fitness, and Funny Coast Counseling. Love those guys. Check them out if you get a chance. But today's a great episode because we are talking about the Rompin Rockwood. It's the annual Rompin Rockwood review. And so Chester was running that with us yesterday. Well, I guess it was Saturday now. And we got a chance for him to come talk about his trail race. And so we're going to get to that in a little bit. But we thought we might as well just bring him on board and have a good chat with him while we're talking about it too, because he experienced all the pain and hardship that we all did, although a lot faster than we did. So it's great to have him on the show. Let's just check in. Jeff, how are you making out, man? Are you recovering at all?
I'm doing all right. I just got home from speeding cheetahs, as I often do on Monday nights, and I was having a hard time keeping up with the boys today. I tell you that much. Those young fellas, they had all kinds of energy, and I had all kinds of not a lot of energy. But I'm doing good. My Achilles kind of flared up during the run, and then went away. Some mid today. It was pretty well back to normal, which was nice. But I got a weird pain in my other foot, in the arch of my foot, that I've never had before. I don't know if I stepped on a root. I remember there's a couple times I stepped on a few roots and I noticed like a twinge of pain go through my foot. And so I don't know if that's like just a bruise in the arch of my foot, or what it is. But anyway, yeah, I did the race. I finished one loop. You couldn't have paid me $1 million to do it again. By the end of that one, I was hurt. But I was talking to someone last Sunday afternoon at a piano recital for my kids, Tim Nogler. He's a trail runner, and he was saying, he said, did you do any hill training before Rompin Rockwood this year? Because I didn't see anything but like golf and treadmill on your Strava. And I'm like, yeah. Now that I think about it, no, I didn't run a single hill before I did the Rompin Rockwood this year. Where last year I started running Odell Park and out in Woolastook, probably early March, started running hills out there.
Yeah.
And so maybe there was some flaws in my training this year as to why it felt so difficult.
Yeah.
So difficult this year.
Yeah.
Learning to work those trails, those hills, is key for trail running. Just finding that pace that suits you and that you feel comfortable with, and working your legs in.
Yeah. It makes a big difference. I noticed that too, just even with like treadmill running, like throughout the wintertime, like it is a totally different animal. Like you can't tell me that it prepares you for that kind of rock and route. Like you're just constantly, you can't get a pace. Like you're just constantly changing all the time as you go through it. It's just,
I ran into some trail road runners that was their first trail run they were doing.
Yeah.
And they had done, some distance before in the road running, but they're like, we can't catch a pace here. And I'm like, man, my ADD loves trail running because it's always constantly different.
Yes.
Every 30 seconds, there's a different pace. There's a different route. There's a different rock. There's something different. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
But I had a guy that back when I first started running, like he kind of was like a mentor in some ways when it came to trail running. He's like, the faster you can learn to like change your pace and walk, run. He's like, that is key to make sure that like to keep going. So that's one thing that when I was first learning to do trails, I was like, yeah, he's right. Less
Yeah.
messing around between walking and running, just learning to switch over fast is proper.
Yeah. It's super. I mean, it feels weird to be walking sections of the trail, but that's like part of it. And there are some people who can run it, but like there's parts with like rock pile road or whatever it is. It's just, you're just jumping from one loose rock to the other. And I'm like, my ankles are not going to be able to handle this. So I just tiptoe through that one, just trying to get out of it alive. But it's just constantly stopping, starting. And so it is a lot of that involved. But Chester, do you get sore after those runs, or is that like a pretty good one for you?
I wasn't too sore.
Yeah.
I definitely took the casual hanging out with my buddy approach to this race. And I'm really happy about it. Like my buddy Luke lives in St. John area. I don't see him that often. So we just went on a little journey together. So I was not too sore. I made sure to get out biking yesterday and just give the legs a shakedown, something different, and
Yeah.
I'm good today. So
Yeah. I went walking on the beach yesterday and I was a little stiff. I feel stiffer today because I haven't been moving as much as I was sitting down too much today. But they say movement is medicine. So trying to get that movement back in. So altogether though, I think I'm not too bad, but going up the stairs isn't fun right now. Like that's one of those ones where it's just like, let's just grab this handle and the railing and keep going. But
It's true.
anyway, yeah.
Your buddy
No.
Luke, he's moving pretty good though. You guys did really well.
yeah. Luke's probably the guy that got me into running in the first place. He used to live across town. He'd run over to my house and grab a drink of water. We'd chat for a while, and then he'd run home again. And I was eventually he was the one that kind of got. It was one night that we were hanging out for New Year's, and he's like, "Let's do a marathon or whatever." And he was one of the guys that was a part of it. So, but
Oh, no way. Yeah, I remember you
Yeah.
telling that story the last time you were on. Yeah. That was awesome. Cool. It's neat to see. It's nice to meet him. It was great to see him. So Jeff, did you look at the final like results? Did you take a look at the website to see how we did?
No,
Yeah, well, I did. I can tell you right now.
I did not. I didn't look at my own results. I did look to see like the 52K finishers, because I remember getting passed by Cody and I remember getting passed by Kelsey, but in my brain like I don't remember getting blown past by anyone else. And when Cody passed me, man, he was just a ball energy. Like it was super
unreal.
super fun and it just such good encouragement. Kelsey, same thing. She was telling me good things and encouraging me, but both of them, man, they were gone so fast. I was like, I want to talk to you more, but I can't. You can't hear me now. They're just gone so fast, and I was like, oh, I wish I could even keep up with them for a second, just so I could like experience running with so much energy and positivity. Right? Like,
Yeah.
it was cool, but yeah, they. I thought maybe I'd be able to get to the finish line before then, even though they had an hour head start because they were running twice as far as me, but that did not happen. So,
I mean, they ran 52 in less time than it takes for us to run half that distance. So I was like, oh my goodness, it was not pleasant to see the overall times, but good for them. Well deserved. And they always put in a good effort. But overall, Jeff, you came in 83rd. So good job on that. And I came in 90th overall. So
Nice.
we're on our way. I think there was 96 total. So so I was like,
Well, there was some DNFs in there, so you
Oh yeah,
finished.
there's probably some DNFs. I didn't see them show up on the final finishers.
And last year, neither one of us got any points towards the trail series at Rompin Rockwood, despite you getting injured and straining your calf,
Yeah.
and me doing 2 loops, but not in time for the time cap. And so, at least the work that we did this time at least got us some points in the
We
trail.
got
series,
something off.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chester's more middle of the pack. I did look you up because you were coming in, but I can't remember what number you were. I didn't write you down because I didn't know if that was important to you or not. It's not
I'm
really
just
important
curious,
to
but
us, but
it's not important. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
yeah. But we all have our own stories to tell about this race. So maybe what we could do is take a second and just share, some of the highlights of our race. Like, what were some of the things that you're really, we could talk about how well it's run. I mean, we've done this review 3 times already, and each time it's fantastic. And this year was no different. Everything seemed to go well. Markings were great. Organization was great. Like it's a good race to be a part of. Now, the real stories come on the course and some of the stories leading up after the course. So why don't we take a second and just share what are some of your reflections on it, and how did it go for you? Chester, do you want to start, or do you want to hear us talk about ours first?
I mean, I can start. First
for
of
it.
all, I was at the beginning of the 52 race, and Mark, I don't know if he said it in the 26 or not because I wasn't paying attention there in 26, but he was giving 100% of the proceeds to the Cancer Foundation in honor of Amber's mom, and that was that was a touching way to start a race. And
Yeah.
you can tell there's a lot these races are way more than just people out running. They're like a community of people. They're trying to encourage each other and stuff, and Mark really embodies that 100%, like the way he represents trail running. So that was cool. For me, I mean, the race itself was mostly about just hanging out with my buddy Luke. The other thing is it's totally tangent, but I started a internship to learn how to make a birch bark canoe. The indigenous, Penobscot Nation is, I'm a member of that tribe in Maine.
Yeah.
And so they're putting on a 2-year internship, and it's all about like cutting down the cedar trees, getting the birch bark and all the whole thing. So as I'm running the whole time, I'm looking at cedar trees, trying to decide which one would be good to harvest for a tree and stuff like that. Well, and my buddy Luke's just huffing and puffing behind, but I'm just looking at all the trees. So for me, that was cool. And then, met a few people on the trails, and had when I'd come across people, we'd have chats and stuff. So that was fun. And then the most random story is Sharon, who is one of the ladies that was doing the paramedics at the end.
Yeah.
Where I was just sitting at the table, and this lady, Sharon, comes up and says, "You boys look like strong men that would be interested in salsa." And I'm like, maybe. And she's like, "I just so happen to bring jars of salsa if you're interested in buying any." I was like, "Well, how much?" She's like, $10 each. I was like, "I got a $20 bill. I'll go grab it." So I bought two jars of salsa from, and they're called Sassy Sharon Salsa, which is pretty funny.
So have you tried it? Is it
I
good?
tried the spicy stuff. It's pretty good. I didn't try the medium one. I went right for the spice to see if it was acceptable. And I think it is. It's not crazy overbearing, but it was good. Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. I can just picture you now, like sneaking into Rockwood Park at nighttime, cutting down all the cedar trees, bringing them back out to the Fisher Lakes parking lot for your canoes. Like, is that the plan? Just to
No, I don't think that's my plan, but I wouldn't tell you about it if it
yeah,
was.
that's right.
Hey, let's be honest. That would be the least of their worries of what happens in Rockwood Park on a Saturday night in that park. Probably,
I can only imagine, man.
Yeah,
absolutely. They'd be
probably
like,
the least of their worries. Yeah, for sure.
Like, it's right in town, and there's so much land there. I could only imagine how much chaos could happen there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, especially when there's like those little shacks and little spots to stop, and I'm like, oh man, how is there not someone living in this right now? Like that's what I don't know if they went through and cleared them out before the race or whatever, but it was pretty clean. It was great. The trails were in good shape. They were well done. So Jeff, how about you? How was your run?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, last year it was wet in a lot of places.
That's
There
true.
was barely any mud this year, so obviously the park is dry. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but at the end of the day, I'm sure it made it easier for those running fast to run fast, I would guess. And so yeah, I appreciated that. I came out with no blisters, so that's good.
Wow.
And I enjoyed the run. It's funny, I get in there and I forget I kind of forget the trail because I don't run it that often. And so like in my brain there's parts of it that I think are coming, but then I think I already did them. And so like I'm like, oh well, like that big hill that I hate is already done. And
Right.
so like
Nope.
I'm running through it. I'm like, well, must have already did moose tracks because, at Owens Lake because like they're not here yet. Like I should have already, anyway, they were still up ahead. And so then you come and you see the sign on the tree and you're like, frig, why did I convince myself that I'd already done those? Like they're still here waiting for me in the back half of this stupid race.
Right.
So yeah. So anyway, that part of it I found challenging, but I find myself thinking that every year, like, it was even part of the run where I was like, they must have taken Skywalker out of this course because like I should have done it by now. Like, where is it? And then, I come around the corner and there's a guy sitting there. He's like, just down the hill to Skywalker. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah,
Right.
I don't care. I still have to run this stupid thing. So all in all, however, I will say I found the initial part of Skywalker not that bad this year. Like I just trotted up it. It seemed reasonably short. I was like, oh, that wasn't the worst part of the run.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was cooked by that point. Anyway, so my brain probably wasn't working properly, but
Yeah.
no, it was good. I got to the finish. And unlike a couple years ago when I ran just one loop, and couldn't eat and almost threw up and like just sat underneath a tree for 2 hours. I had a couple hamburgers and I had a couple Cokes and I thought, geez, I feel pretty good for being exhausted and sore and not
Yeah.
trained properly, but actually still feel okay. Now, once the stiffness set in and I drove from there to the Mackay Highway, Irving, to get my gas and my Monster drink so I could keep on going to Belial to my niece's birthday, I went to get out of the truck. My legs were so stiff. Like I just like slid out of the truck with straight legs,
Slide right down. Yeah.
hobbled into the Irving, and still had my socks and sandals on and my trail like all sweaty and whatever. And the lady at the front desk was just like, "What is this animal
Yeah.
coming in here?" So anyway, there was a guy in front of me pumping gas. He was driving Tacoma too, but he was all done up in like super fancy golf attire.
Oh
And
man.
so we were living two different lives at that
Yeah.
point. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Taco 1 and Taco 2.
Yeah,
That's funny.
yeah. But no, it was overall I felt pretty good about it. Pretty good run, and I'm happy. I'm really happy I switched to the 26K, if I'm
Yeah.
being honest.
Yeah.
Because I would not have done a second loop either way, but it
No.
made for a good day at that point. Like, to me, like I enjoy the fact that I can go and run and have fun and hang out with some people at the end and chat and then go about my day and not be completely dead. So
Yeah. Yeah.
good.
So it's interesting because I probably came into this feeling the most optimistic about the run that I've felt in a long time. Especially around Rockwood. Like every time I just usually have a sense of dread running through that course just because it often will be problematic for me. But there was, I said it, we put out an Instagram reel. I was like, I just want to stay ahead of the fridge guy. Like that's what I wanted. That was my goal. That did not happen whatsoever. So for those of you who aren't familiar with what I call the fridge guy, I think he's becoming known as the fridge guy. Jesse Wright is his name, I think. And he runs these trail races. I think this is his second one now. Maybe he's done more than one. I don't know, but I definitely saw him at Bootstrap and I definitely saw him at this one. And he raises awareness for food insecurity in Uptown St. John, which is a big issue. And so to do that, he runs with a giant fridge on his back. And so I'm like, surely I can stay in front of the guy carrying a fridge. But we got just maybe not even 2 kilometers into the run, and he comes flying by me like, excuse me, and he's just running. The fridge is bouncing off all the like, it's just knocking all the trees out of the way and everything. I'm like, this guy, I'm gonna see. What I said to myself is like, I'm gonna see this guy later because he's gonna burn out somewhere going at that pace carrying a fridge. And I said, that's when I'll take him again. I didn't see him again. Like, I never saw him the rest of the race. And I was like, how is this guy able to run with the fridge on his back and not like burn out? He had to have slowed down at some point, because he was going crazy. Did he run with you guys at all? Did you see him at all?
I didn't. Did you,
You
Jeff?
didn't see him. Did you see him, Jeff?
No, just at the very beginning, like you said, Chester and I were running and kind of like catching up at the beginning of the race and just having a chat. And Chester looked at me at one point and said, "We got to get around this fridge guy, man. Like, we can't stay behind him the whole way." So we popped out around him. And then I think we were going into the trail or just halfway up the trail. You realize that Luke was nowhere near us. And you're like, I got to wait for Luke. I don't know where he is. And so you stepped off to the side and waited for Luke. And then I got up to Simon Says on like the rocky part, and I could hear him coming. And I thought, for some reason, it was you, Brandon, behind me. He kind of had that same sort of jovial, like he was talking, and he was like, "Ooh, that's a hill. That's uphill, boys." And he was going on. I was like, "Oh, Brandon's catching up. That's cool." And then all of a sudden he flew by me with the thing on, and I was like, "What the heck, man?"
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. I guess we could look, and now that you'd said his name, we could look and see how many minutes ahead he was from us. But I never saw him again, and
Right?
I kind of thought the same thing. I thought, man, he went up that hill fast with a 30-pound, fridge on his back. He's probably going to burn out eventually. And I did hear that there was people sharing treats with him along the way, because he had literally 2 500 milliliter water bottles that were frozen, I noticed, at the starting of his run. And I was like, I sure hope those thaw really quickly, because he's going to need water. And one thing I realized too, one of the flaws in my run was last year I had 3 flasks. This year I had 2. And for me, based on the timing between the single aid station, to do the 3 parts of the race, essentially, I ran out of water both times.
Yeah, me too.
Because I only had 2 flasks. Having the third one would have been great. But anyway, the morning of the race, I realized I couldn't find the cover to one of my flasks, and so I didn't really have much choice. But anyway, if you can have some extra flasks if you're a little slower, it's probably valuable.
Yeah.
So I don't know how he survived with 2 little water bottles and a fridge on his back, but
Yeah.
I think
Good
it's
on him.
important to tell the listeners that may not have been there. It was more like a small fridge. It wasn't like a full fridge.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to discredit him or downplay. And he also took the compressor out of the fridge, so he had less
Okay.
weight involved in it. But he built that harness himself out of stuff. The back part, I think, was like a booster seat from a kid's booster seat that he had, like,
kid's booster seat.
whatever.
Man.
And I guess when he did Looney Loops, one of the straps broke, so he like had to hold that strap while he was running half the time. So
Yeah. And he also told me the door would blow open. So when he was running, like, the door would, if the wind caught the door, it would fly open while he was doing
man.
bootstrap. So it was going down the beach. Can you just imagine, like, the door is just like flying in the wind as he's driving by? So that's the first time I saw him. I was like, it was the most demoralizing thing I've ever experienced in my life. I'm like, this guy is just passing me with this giant fridge on his back. I'm like, I was ready to quit right there. I was like, this is it. I've reached a new low. But thankfully, I reached another low. As there's always another low to get to, so don't count yourself out.
There's always more embarrassment.
Yeah, there's always something else to be embarrassed about. So, but shout out to him. I mean, he was just cruising hard, and I appreciate that. And so it was interesting because for me, I had some weird goals that I did actually hit, which I was thrilled about. One of them was I wanted to run up the old ski hill like hill. I was like, I want to be able to run up that. I always have walked it, and I always feel like I lost time because I walked that. And so I was like, not this time. And so I've been doing some hill training earlier on in the winter time. And so I was like, for that reason. And so I did it. I ran up the whole ski hill, the old ski hill, made it to the top, and didn't stop to walk until I got through to the gravel part. You know how you can cross over and the mountain biking path and get onto the gravel part. I stopped there to get something to eat. So I was super thrilled with that. I didn't have enough water either. I forgot that I usually carried a Camelback with me, and so I got to the aid station and I was just like, I need more water. I did not have enough water through the whole thing, so that was a mistake. But next year we'll keep working on it, and it's getting better and better every time. So
I'm running the 10K next year, just so you know.
yeah.
I have the other 2 medals, like, well, they're
Right.
hanging right there. Wait, I can't make the screen work. Here we go. But yeah, I have to complete the set, right? So,
Right. There you go.
That's a logic's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, it's solid logic
Yeah.
there. So it was really cool also just to see some of the people do the race for the first time. And I can't imagine like that being your first race is a tough one to do, like first off the hop. And there was a lady she must have been a road runner, and this was her first trail race. She was doing the 10K, and she was talking about how hard it was to run on the trail. And while she's filming it, she almost trips and falls. And she's like, this is like the third time I've almost tripped and had a fall. And I just could relate to her so well. She was like, I can run a 10K on the road in an hour. And here I am at kilometer 8 at an hour already, an hour and 10 minutes or something like that. So it just goes to show, like, it is a tough course to go on. Like, it's not for the faint of heart, for sure.
There are some trail runs that are like I did Vermont last year, and I say 75% of it was dirt roads. So if you're a road runner, you get on that stuff, like you're right in your element. You can, and you slow down on some of the trails, right? So, but not the Rompin. Rompin doesn't have much of that long, flat stuff to offer.
One stretch right by the lake there. I can't even remember the name of the lake now, but there's just one little road that's maybe a kilometer long. Is it? I don't even know if it's a kilometer.
Nah.
And you just feel like you're flying down that one little stretch because it's actually flat and fairly like even. There's a few rock spots there, but nothing too serious. And that's the fastest part of the course for me every single time. I'm always like, this is great. Then
Do you remember the
barely made it.
stats? Do you remember the stats Mark said, how many people were like, that was their first trail race?
It was significant.
was like
I believe
80 some.
Yeah.
I think that's what he said. At the starting of the 26 when he did the announcement, I think he said 80 some was their first trail run.
Yeah.
No, that's wild.
Yeah. So that's really cool that people are getting into it and giving it a shot. And I hope they enjoyed it because it was a great day for it altogether. So yeah. Any other stories for the Rompin Rockwood today? You're all good? You're all good? Overall, 2 thumbs up. Big, heartily recommend it. Big shout out to Mark and Amber and all the volunteers who made it happen. It's a fantastic run that I hate doing every single time. And so but one of these days I'll like it, but just not this week. It wasn't this one either, so it'll come.
Was this year the first year that there was actually 26 versus 23 or something like that? Was it a little longer this year? Last year was
the first year, so this is the second year.
Yeah.
And that little stretch though is a pretty nice little groovy spot. Like it is, it's a mountain biking trail, so it's not super intense, but it does add a little bit extra to it. So it's a good addition.
Yeah.
Yeah. So also, Chester, we want to talk about what's coming up in the Hillsborough area. Why don't you fill us in?
Yeah, so I was on here last year and spoke about the old Mastodon Rumbler. So I'm doing it again this year. It's on June 20th. Same same, basically. I, I, the only thing that's changing is I'm going to give some of the proceeds back to the group called CCT, which is Kodiak Cycling Trails. And they really put a lot of work into those trails in the park. And they're like non-for-profit. They rely on government grants that they have to apply for, community stuff. So it's, I mean, I got to know the guys, and I know that there's a lot of work to be done in that park, and there's just not enough funding coming in for it. So I thought I'd give back since I've been using the park, and I strongly believe that that's in the Moncton area. That's probably like a hidden gem. Actually, probably all in New Brunswick. It's a hidden gem of trails for biking and for running. There's a lot of history in that area. There's always something new to discover. There's always wildlife out there because it's pretty, there's just not that many people out there half the time. And yeah, so that's the only thing that really changed. Last year, I think my turnout was around 44 wasn't the total.
Yeah.
And then I had maybe 10, 12 volunteers. And from everybody that was there, and I'm not saying this to brag or anything like that, but the feeling overall was like that race, it was a success all through and through.
Awesome.
And I hear it from people that did it last year say like that was the best trail race I did all year. And I think it was because it was like first of all, the trails are awesome. And then if you get a sunny day like we did at Rompin Rockwood, and people can just relax and not worry about rain and stuff, like that makes the vibe great too.
Yeah.
And then I had the Happy Brewing gave me like a bunch of cases of beer. So at the end there, everybody got basically one or two beers, depending on if they were drinking or not. But then I had, regular drinks. And then, one of my buddies is really good at, green egg, cooking with a green egg. So we did pizzas for everybody. So almost on demand, really, like if you wanted whatever, he'd throw the pizzas together, throw it on the egg, and 10 minutes later it was ready to go. So, that made it pretty fun too.
Nice.
So this year is the same thing. I'm going to keep the course the same, other than they did reroute, a few trails in the park itself. So I'll use those. I got a few more local community sponsors that, involved, like the Cinnamon Soul Cafe, which is a little coffee shop in Hillsborough. They haven't really 100% committed to what they're going to do, but they want to be a part of it. I ran into one of the owners at the end of last year's race. I was cleaning up, and he was like, "What's this all about?" So I told him, and he was like, "Man, I love this park so much, and I'm happy that it's being used for more than just," he's like, "I'm just happy to see stuff happen." So he said, "Next year, reach out to me and I'll help you guys out." So once we get closer, he's going to solidify what that means. And then I had a contest going for like there's a 2-person day pass for a spa that's kind of in the area called Hope Wellness Resort.
Okay. Yep.
And so everybody that signed up before May 20th gets entered into the draw for that. I haven't done the draw yet, but I will. So a couple people will be able to go either after, maybe just go sit on the pool side and do some cold plunges and spas and stuff like that. So
that's awesome. It sounds good. And remind me, the proceeds, some of it's going to the trail network that maintains the trails. The other part is going towards the school, right? To help with building the playground. That was one of the key focuses last year, right?
Yeah, correct. So they're still fundraising for that, because it's I know it's a couple $100,000 investment for these play parks. I know that they were getting pretty close to like hitting their first benchmark where they could, start building part of it, but it's a multi-year fundraiser basically. So they're, and they're participating more. I think I have more volunteers that are gonna come from that group to help out with whatever they can help out with. So
Yeah.
but yeah, these, I mean, yeah, like another one of my friends, same thing, school in the Moncton area, they don't have play park at their school. They took out everything they thought was unsafe. So now there's just blue poles hanging out in the middle of like the playground. And
That's not very exciting.
are fundraising for it. And it's like, it's really sad to me that we live in such a prosperous world. I mean, I know New Brunswick GDP is low, blah, 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 but we're prosperous, right?
Yeah.
And I think we should really be investing back in our kids and our community for the future, right? Like, so
Yeah.
that's why I'm passionate about this. And that's why I'm giving back to the people that are building the trails too, because like without them, that area would just be reclaimed by nature, basically. So
Yeah. To just overgrow again. Yeah. Right.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, and we hope that it's a great race. Really, it's a cool fundraiser too, and that whole running scene in Moncton is starting to gain a lot of momentum. Like you're starting to see more beginner groups starting, intro groups, and just the area too is starting to have its own trail running scene, and so that's really cool to see that continue to develop. And maybe it's always been there, we just haven't noticed it. That's totally possible, but it just seems to be more exposure to it now. I see a lot more exposure for it, and so I hope it keeps growing like that. It's a pretty cool area.
I think like trail running as a whole is like on the up and up. Everybody's like, it's pretty, that's why these races are, like Mark's races do so well. There's more and more people wanting to get into it, which is awesome. Yeah, like I've been a part of the Moncton trail running group for a long time. I don't know how exactly, but it's had ups and downs, and COVID kind of took some of the wind out of the sails for them for sure.
Yeah.
But the new group, I'm going to say the newer group of people that have been involved in it in the last couple of years, like they are such a caring, loving community that look out for each other, and they build, they have their own bonds, and they go out and run together and do training and stuff like that, which I think is awesome. Like if I was going to tell you a cool story, like one of the girls, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago, broke her ankle at one of the evening runs. And, the group rallied together and they fundraised, they put a bunch of money and went and bought her a big gift basket and all kinds of treats, and and just made sure she was, they felt her pain and they wanted to make her feel special, which I think, it means a lot. And you can tell that the group there really cares about each other and wants people to feel accepted, which is awesome. So I'm like the old guy that shows up and just acts a fool, and they just put up with me.
Awesome.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, right.
Every time I'm there, Blair takes a picture of the group ahead of time, and I do something silly every time, no matter what. I'm doing something silly in the pictures.
Yeah. It's interesting. I wanted to wrap up today's episode with just like this interesting, I don't know what to call it, just interesting discourse that's going on now with, at the end of the race, I got in my car, we had said our goodbyes, and I'm just sitting in the car and I'm like, all right, I've been doing posts throughout the race at Rompin, just taking a second, updating people where we were for the Chasing Trails pod Instagram. And I wanted to kind of do like a finale. And at that point in time, like I was pretty tired. I was feeling really nauseous because I hadn't been able to drink enough water. So I didn't get to enjoy the food at the end because I just thought I'd throw it up, and I had a can.
You never do though. You always.
I know. I can never do it. It's just, it's like my blessing, my curse.
On your registration, Brandon, because you don't eat any of the food.
I know.
The most you do is have some bacon halfway through Bootstrap Boogie, puke it up on your way back, and then that's it. You're done. No more food for you.
I know. So it's just like, I don't know how I'd what happens. But I'm sitting in the car and I'm taking just a quick reel, and I without even really thinking too much about it, I'm like, I don't know why we do this. Can someone tell me why? Remind me why we do this, because my brain's not working right now. And we got a number of comments from that question. And so I just wanted to share a couple of them because I thought a lot of them were really, really kind of insightful. There was a number of those ones that would say, hey, because we can. Like, and to me, sometimes that I get what they're saying, but I'm like, well, there's lots of things we can do, but we choose to do this one. So why do we choose to do that? Is always my response to people say, well, you do it because you can do it. And I get it. But some of us can't do it. We still try. So that's the difficulty with that answer, but I appreciate people who wrote that in. One of them was, I think it was, trying to remember who had said it. It was Steven Schaefer. He said, because, how did he say it? He said it so well. He says, because easy doesn't change you. And I thought there's some real truth to that statement. That doing things easy doesn't change you, and doing things hard. I mean, that was a good answer. I think there was also some really good comments just around, so Nicole said, we do it for community, which is absolutely true. Getting to see people that I hadn't seen since the last spring, like Blake O'Brien, like I hadn't seen Blake for, months and months and months. And just to see him pull up was awesome to see him. A shout out to him. He's probably listening. And then she said, we do it to make other hard things in our lives seem easier. And I think there's some truth to that. If you read a lot of those guys who will write books about accomplishing amazing things, a lot of them will say, hey, some of the toughest things that life has to throw at you, you can handle them because you've gone through like a lot of those trail running things. And I think those are pretty good answers. Do you guys agree with any of those? Like, did those resonate with you at all?
Yeah. Like for me, we do it because I always tell my kids, like, when it gets hard is when when things, like we went biking and it was hard. I was like, no, this is when it gets hard. That's when the training starts. That's when you get the opportunity to push it a little further. If you stop when it gets hard, then you don't get to go further. So that one for sure. And then what was the next one? I lost my train of thought.
They're just talking about how,
hard things, doing hard things.
Yeah, if you do the hard things, then the other things that happen that are difficult seem a little bit easier, because you've gone through.
So I've had this I'm in a business group of like a young, well, not young, but they're leaders, and it's all about becoming a better leader in your business and stuff like that. And when people hear I did a 100-mile race, they're like, what? Why would you do that? I could never do that. That's too far, crazy. And one guy said, I feel like I can make $1 billion in business easier than it would be for you to run 100 miles, like for him in his mind.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know how you would make $1 billion in business. And he's like, I don't know how you do 100 miles. And I said, well, I just put one foot in front of the other and kept moving in the same direction till I was done. And he said, I just have to keep making $1 at a time and keep moving in the right direction till I get $1 billion. So that I like that. I don't know how to explain it, but I kind of like that conversation is interesting to me. So
yeah, no, that's good. Yeah. Jeff, anything stick out to you about that?
I mean, the community, obviously we've talked about it many times, but I had countless people reach out before the race asking like, hey, you going to be at Rompin Rockwood, both through the podcast channel and even through my own personal channels. Just because, you hadn't seen people since, Bootstrap Boogie and everything goes quiet for the winter. Right. And you just see the odd Strava post or the odd person being like, and even people you don't know super well, like, PJ Duncan. I don't know him well. I knew he had run 50 for his 50th birthday, and I bumped into him at the race, and he finished his lap and did a good job. And so even he was joking, like, yeah, this is nothing like the reservoir node, Jeff. This is this is different than running on flat ground. Like, yeah, because I assumed it would be super easy for him since he had just done 50K, like 2 months ago or whatever.
Yeah.
But Suzanne reached out a few times, and so I was a little rushed, but Uncle Jeff doesn't miss birthday parties either, so. I didn't get to stick around as long as I would have liked, but at the same time, it was nice to see a lot of the community and cheer some people on. And so, yeah, specifically for the like St. John trail running races, I mean, the community is a big one. I still haven't figured out why I do the hard things, but I guess it's, we've talked about it many times on the, other side of things, like, for your kids, like Chester mentioned or whatever,
sure.
Teach them how to get out and how to build a good base and just live life. And I think there's a lot you could take from this stuff into life. So that's where my brain is.
That's great. You brought up PJ. One PJ story that I found really funny at the race was he caught up to me just as we were going up Skywalker. So we were climbing that stupid goat path or whatever that you got to go up to get up there. And I had like a massive muscle cramp in my leg. I had to stop because my leg was just like shaking. And it wouldn't work. And so I had to stop, but PJ kept going. And so I would just be able to catch up with him enough to just see the back of his shirt as he kept going ahead of me up the hill. And so eventually I had a second chance where the spasm came back and I had to shake it out. And I kind of lost sight of him. Well, then I was following him through kind of like that top before you got to Mackay Skyway. And, and just to be able to keep track of him, I saw him every once in a while, and then I lost him. I was like, oh, he must have gone really quick down the hill and was out onto the trail. But it turns out he got lost. He took the wrong turn. And so I just went right by him and I didn't even know it. And so we talked about it, laughed over it because he finished after me. And I was like, where were you? I was like, I thought you were ahead of me. And so he told me the story, and then I saw it again. I chuckled to myself because his Strava post came up, and it was like 28 point something kilometers instead of 26. And I was like, there's those extra 2 kilometers that he got lost. He went on the wrong trail. And I was like, oh man, that would be frustrating to do extra work when you're going through something like that. Like just to miss a turnoff, and but
that's like Brian joking about how he passed you twice in the same race.
Yeah, that's right.
See, he must have gone down the same goat path.
Yeah. So it was great, but overall, can't say enough good things about the run. We're super pumped for the Mastodon as well, and we hope that goes super well, Chester. And
what are the chances you guys are going to come out?
I mean, we can look.
Okay.
How far is it? Let me ask these questions again, because we jump into races before we really think about what we're doing. And,
no, that's fair. I mean, I heard about your vertical challenge there. You're going to go do that. So that's going to be challenging for sure.
Yeah. It'll be really challenging, I think.
I got 2 distances. So there's a 10K and a 20K. What I didn't want to do was like 2 loops of 10K. So what I have is it's kind of like 1 loop, 10K gets you back to the start, and then you start another completely different loop to get to 20K.
Oh, okay.
And I honestly, I know for sure the second loop is the more scenic and better like representation of White Rocks.
Yeah.
According to what I think. So,
yeah.
But to get like, it took me a while to get the loops so they didn't cross over too much. And so basically the first 10K loop gets you like, it's basically the perimeter of the whole park. And then the 20K is inside of that perimeter, but you have multiple trails up and down kind of deal. So
cool. Well, we'll have to check it out. We'll have to take a look. I'll see what our calendar is like, but we have the East Coast Beast Coast. That's at the beginning of June. So what's the date on it again, Chester?
The 20th.
June 20th?
Yeah.
We'll have to take a look, see how it goes.
Sounds like you're coming. Sounds like you promised to come.
If this was Jeff, he would definitely say, yes, we'll do it. And then we'll realize, oh yeah, we've got 5 other things booked at the same time.
I'm just, I don't need, I would appreciate if you guys came, but I understand everybody's got a life to live. So,
well,
Yeah.
it wouldn't, if we weren't there, it wouldn't be because we didn't want to be there. It would be because something else.
That's completely fair.
So
big shout out to Mattress Mike. We didn't shout him out yet, but he's a big fan of you guys, and he supports my race. This year he's given me a pretty good prize that I'm gonna do as a door prize. So
are you allowed to tell what the prize is, or are you keeping that under wraps until the race?
I might as well just say he is donating a queen size bed and box spring.
Whoa!
Full brand new.
That is awesome. What a deal.
Yeah. I think I'm just going to do an overall draw prize. I don't think I'm going to make it like first place kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like anybody that goes can get their name in a draw and maybe walk away with a mattress and a box spring.
Shout out to Mattress Mike. He is coming through. I love it.
And just so everyone knows, Mattress Mike is a real person. Like we've joked about this a few times, but it's Mike down in Sleep Country in Moncton, not the Vietnam branch. Or sorry, I shouldn't call it that. Not Vietnam branch. at the Moncton branch up on, I don't know, where's that up? I don't know.
It's across from where the Costco used to be. What is that?
That's right.
Is that Mapleton?
Right. In by Mopsy's. It's in by Mopsy's in Golf Town. You go in there, you see Mike at Sleep Country. He's going to get you a good deal. And apparently, you can go run Chester's race and get a free queen bed and box spring.
That could be yours. That could be yours.
That I'm going to sleep on later, courtesy of Mattress Mike. And it is
great. It's almost like Mattress Mike is like this fictional radio kind of character that people talk about, like old timey radio. Like it feels like but he is a real person, and he's as exciting as he sounds. Like he's the man, the myth, the legend. Like that fits Mattress Mike to a T. Like there's
if anyone knows napping, it's Mike.
He's an expert.
He's an expert. He's a sleep expert. Before he worked at Sleep Country, he just found the best job he could ever have.
Oh man, I wish I could tell some stories, but it'd be out of school. So we need to get him on the show sometime to just tell some of his exploits. But anyway, well, folks, we hope you enjoyed our review. I don't know if it was helpful or not. Maybe it was. It was great for a debrief. At least we'll be able to sleep well at night now, knowing we've talked about it, gotten some things off our chest, and it is a great race, and we really are. It's a great way to kick off the season for us, and we really just can't recommend it enough. So if you ever get out to Rockwood Park, we hope you can get a chance to run those trails. If you get out to Hillsborough for the Mastodon Rumbler, we want to encourage you to do that. And so thanks for being with us, Chester. It's been fun having you as a part of the thruple, as the kids say these days.
Thanks for letting me invite myself to your podcast.
Happy to have you.
Yeah, man. Anytime. All right, everyone. In the meantime, keep on chasing the trails.
Maps all scribbles, lines run wild. The wrong turn, right turn, same big smile. Fear says careful, body says no. Hands speak safety, it's time to go. What if this is the moment? What if we don't look back? We're both feet over the edge, now one loud breath that we attack. Head first into the unknown, I wanna to make it